Welcome to a slice of Spain with this thing, the Cupra VZ5. Not the V25, unlike I called it when it was new. From stock, this thing has a whopping 385 brake horsepower, 354 foot-pounds of torque, while weighing just a shade under 3,550 pounds. So it's a little hefty, but from the front it does look very interesting, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of, I guess, one of the more recent Ford Focuses. But going round to the back, it does look pretty cool with the classic Cupra-style rear lights, and going to the inside, we've got ourselves a nice little touchscreen over in the middle, and a couple dials in front of us as well. And now let's go ahead and take a listen to this thing. So here we are now in the upgrade shop. The first thing we're doing is jumping straight over to conversion and over to engine swaps to see what we've got. We've only got ourselves one this time, and it is the 1.6 litre inline-4 turbo rally. Of which, if you ask me, is a little bit disappointing because, I mean, come on, there's plenty of space for some more. If you want, you can also go ahead and make this thing rear-wheel drive as well, and I think we'll do that in a bit, just for some fun. Going to aero and appearance, we only have just a Forza splitter for the front, and I believe going to the back, it is the almighty Forza wing. Essentially the wing that no one really likes. In the meantime, our mechanic Mac has been very busy and made us a road racing tune for this thing, so let's go ahead and bring up the share code very quickly. There it is, feel free to go ahead and get that for yourself. And now we're going to go ahead, download and install and see what it's all about. So with these upgrades, we're now at the top of A-Class and a lot lighter at £3,200 with a whopping power increase up to 395. So those upgrades applied, here we are now in the paint shop. Of course, we've got nothing in advance like normal. We're going to the manufacturer paint colours. We've got ourselves 1, 2, 3 different ones to choose from, and honestly, I quite like the blue. The only thing I don't like is how long it takes to save. Now, fun fact, Cupra itself is actually originally from Spain, and apparently it's something to do with Seat. I don't know what the whole logistics is, but apparently the VZ of the VZ5 stands for Veloz, which loosely translated from Spanish to English apparently means fast. So let's jump into the race and see if it lives up to the name. And away we go, we've got ourselves the Cupra Formentor VZ5. I nearly forgot what the name was because it's quite an interesting name and certainly not one I'm used to. Let's go ahead and see what this thing can do, chuck it around our normal track and see if we can try and get ourselves a first place with an SUV. Although some people might argue that it's a hot hatch these days, at least by Forza standards. So I've also done a little bit more information hunting about this thing, and as well as finding out all the info earlier about what the VZ stood for in this thing's name, I've also found out how many were made. And to be honest, it might be shocking, but just 7,000 of these things ever made, so it's very, very interesting indeed, and it makes it quite a rare car. However, in the UK, you can find these going for sale used for roughly around £21,000 to £27,000. That's roughly this in US dollar. So as it turns out, they're a limited run, but they are still selling for quite a low price. In the meantime, we've somehow managed to find our way past the Range Rover and a whole bunch of other various assorted SUVs and various things, and now we've got ourselves up into first. The only question is, can we keep it there? With this thing, I genuinely have no idea. But I guess that question is about to be answered because we've just passed 95%, we've got one more turn to go as per normal, the finish line is right there, and across we go. Now, I spoke to Mac about this car, he managed to achieve a 202, I'm only at 211, so oh well, I did get a first place though. So all in all, a very interesting race, and now we go ahead and jump over to the backstage pass to see what we've got this week. We've got ourselves the Audi RS7 from 2021 and the Lamborghini Aventador J versus the MG MG7 and the Mercedes-Benz SL65. Now I've got two very interesting vehicles here, and I've got to say the other two are a bit, well, not great, but I think this week we might go with, I'm gonna be keen and put it on Audi. Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments. However, now we go from road racing to drag racing, and of course Mechanic Mac has been busy making us yet another brand new tune, so let's go ahead and bring up the share code very quickly. There it is, feel free to grab that for yourself, and we're going to go ahead and do that now. So with those parts, apparently now our vehicle's even lighter at £2,808 with a whopping 821 brake horsepower. This is going to be insane. So here we are now over at the back of the festival. Let's go ahead and see, do we get a wheelie check out of this thing? I was told to launch it on launch control to get a wheelie check, and we do, and it's actually quite good indeed. Although to be fair, I saw this thing in testing and it was already crazy, and now it's just even crazier. However, now it's time to go ahead and drag race this thing, so let's go ahead and see what we get. 3, 2, 1, away we go. Immediately a wheelie off at the start, which is pretty cool indeed. Quite a wheelie as well, it's really impressive. You could say wheelie good. No, I'm not sorry for that pun. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what 800 and something brake horsepower gets us down the drag strip, 1,180 miles an hour. I wish it was 1,080. Right, do we have brakes? As always, no, we really don't. Terrible brakes, terrible job of words. This game's driving me mad. However, now we go from the game driving us mad to us driving the game mad, because it's time to go ahead and make a top speed build out of this thing. We're going to keep this thing all-wheel drive, just because we can, and I think, you know what? I don't think we're going to bother with the engine swap, we're going to stick with what we've got. Especially seeing as it makes, 800 brake horsepower. All I've got to do is go and slap in every component under the sun, so we could be here a while. With all parts installed, I reckon that's not half bad. However, now is the fun part. I've got to go ahead and tune this thing. However, before we go any further, here's this week's Forzathon shop. We've got ourselves the McLaren P1, a backstage pass, the quick draw remote, the Penhole Chola, which is a very interesting car, being around since Horizon 3. We also have the red suit outfit as well, alongside our Horizon Super Wheel Spin and regular Horizon Wheel Spin as well. And now, out to the motorway. Okay, so now hopefully it's time to find out how close we've gotten to the motorway grate. Have we got there today? Honestly, I think that might be one of the closest attempts we've gotten in a while. Still not quite there yet, so maybe next time. In the meantime, here we are at the edge of the motorway. We get ourselves on launch control, the sun's going down, and away we go. A very, very good launch out of this thing as well. Quite impressive indeed. Let's go ahead and see what top speed we can get out of this thing. It might be heavy, but it sure has got power, and hopefully it can use that power with the downhill too to make this thing even quicker. And out of the speed zone, 221.20 miles an hour. This thing is actually fairly speedy considering what it is and all, but let's go ahead, go to the downhill, and see how quick we get down there. Oh, and the speed camera too. Nearly forgot that one. Speaking of, hopefully we should see, there it is, 226.16 through the camera, going downhill, 229, 230, 231? Yeah, there we go, 231. Right, you know what to do here. Where's our motorway sign? There it is, on the brakes. What do we get out of this thing? Is it better or worse than the van from last week? Actually, I think it's, I dare say it's actually maybe better. And in typical Forza fashion, it started raining. However, the rain may help us because it's time to go ahead and drift this thing. So we're going to go ahead and chuck it in and see what we get. Firstly, we've gotten very sideways. That is honestly kind of impressive, I'm not going to lie. But can we get 30k out of this thing? We can. In fact, we've done better than that. 40,044. Of which out of this thing's really impressive. However, now it's time to find out if we can beat that score. Chucking this thing straight back in for round number 2. Let's go ahead and get this thing very sideways. 40,000 is the score to beat. I doubt it's going to happen. And in fact, it didn't. We went out at 36,803 points. Which out of this thing is still pretty respectable. In the meantime, as the sun sets over Mexico, it also sets on this video as well, because that is indeed the Cupra Formentor VZ5, a very interesting vehicle indeed. Like I say, it was a gift car, and now it is available in the Autoshow, should you wish to pick one of these up for yourself. Which means no hassle with points, because I know the playlist is still relatively broken at the moment. Although at the time of recording, the hotfix has just been released, so hopefully that's fixed some problems. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Tech out. See ya! With this rain, I feel like I'm back in Britain.